for some people to jump on. We're going to talk about what we did here, and then you can catch it on the replay, and we'll probably talk about it again. I'm Linda. Hi, how are you? All right, let's get people on. I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's able to hear me and see me. Just let me know when you jump on if everything looks good to you, okay? And actually, I just popped on here, so maybe it just takes a while. Hi, everyone. Tell me where you are, where you're from. Are you new to IOD? Please, inquiring minds want to know. Just, you know. Hey, hi, how are you? How you doing? It's PM. I need glasses. Rutkowski? Nice. Welcome, welcome. Is this your first time watching one of these videos? Are you new to IOD? Or, no, you're a top fan. I see that. I got it now. So, everyone, welcome. I'm Linda with Seaporium. We have a cute little shop in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And I did a little video of working with the Sparnwood. Hi, Kathy, how are you? It's late for you. Hi, Mary Beth. So I started working on this, and you can catch this on our page if you want to see how I did the barnwood plank stamp. But just to show you, if you're not familiar with the stamps, this is 8 pieces. And it's all kinds of yumminess, and most of these ladies here can tell you, like, these are so fun. So this is the stamp, and we cut it up. Normally they're all together on a sheet, but there's many reasons for why I cut it up, and you can watch stamp videos and to find that out. But I'm just showing you, this is what we did. There's different parts to the stamp, and it's so versatile. You can see my wall back here. We have it. I've done other tables with it. People have done their floors with it. It's a great stamp to have. And not for nothing, just a little tease. Hi, Monica, how are you? Oh, Dobja. Thank you. So if you don't have the barnwood plank stamp, you're gonna wanna get it. Trust me, you're gonna wanna get it. If you know what I know, and what's coming down the pipeline, it's a good one to have with, yeah. That's all I gotta say. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so we did this with the Iron Orchid Designs ink over a chalk style paint. It had I sealed it up yesterday, so it's been sealed for 24 hours. And now, here's the idea. And I might be crazy, and I'm known to be a little wild, but I'm doing this on a whim, and this is how I roll. For those of you who are not familiar with me, I'm a little daring. I have an idea in my head, and Joanne Sykes, if you're watching, she can attest to the fact that I think aloud, and she took one of the ideas we were talking about on a video quite a while back during the whole COVID-cation thing, and she rolled with it. Did you see what Joanne posted with the something to do with my table? Oh, good. This is a great option for tables if you're trying, especially if you're trying to hide something. You have a lot of imagined texture on here, and so it just adds to it. It's really cool. But Joanne Sykes did a compass rose, and I had been thinking aloud, and I was thinking about doing it on another table, and she rolled with that. And she knocked it out of the park. So she posted the picture on the Creative Tribe page. And you ladies, if you're not on the Creative Tribe page, get on there. There's so much fun and inspiration going on, and everyone's helping each other. If you're having a problem or you don't know how to do something, just you get on there, and everyone's very helpful. Okay. So and look up what Joanne did for the compass rose. So then it got me thinking again. I says, you know, we got this table in the meanwhile, and it's a very, as you can see, it's a very simple table, and this is where I like to let IOD really shine. If you have a very plain table, or very plain any piece of furniture, bureau, chair, a frame, dress it up, and it's so easy to do. I personally don't like to add a lot of details when something already has interest to it. It's all these pieces that are out there and they're very bland, and this is where IOD really makes your day. Hi, how you doing, Christine? So I really should get this pulled up on here. I don't know why it's not coming up, but let's try it anyways. So anyways, we're gonna do this as a compass rose. And you might be saying, what is she doing? That's okay. You can say that. So I already know in my head this is going to be the outskirts of it, and we're going to break it up. I've already kind of measured. I totally forgot all my algebra and all my geometry and all that. So I kind of jerry-rigged, if you will, my cross points, and I do believe it's pretty close to my dead centers on either side here. So we'll find out, right? And so I use, and I want to also talk, and I always talk about this, but for those of you who are new, get yourselves these watercolor pencils. They are awesome. Hi Terry, how are you? The watercolor pencils, instead of using chalk, because I find when, especially when I used to work on walls and I used to try and mark with the chalk lines, and I find that the paint kind of resisted where the chalk was. But this is watercolor. It's a watercolor pencil, so it's gonna blend with whatever you're doing, and then whatever's left, if you see it, it's gonna wipe off. You can wipe it off. So get yourself. This is kind of dark. I like to have that. It's a real bright aqua. It's a good mid-tone one, but when I sent my husband to get them, he didn't know which one to get, and so he got a set, and none of them had the light aqua, but that's okay. So we're gonna break this up. All right, and of course, you know, I can't be put together enough to have my scissors. Here we go. That's my dilemma. So we're going to keep this backing on until we know we don't need it, okay? I know my surface is clean, all right? I wiped it down before I put it up here, plus it was just painted, and it was just sealed. Yeah, I know, right, Terry? Hi, Paula. And so everything's clean. My transfer is clean because my backing's been behind it. This is sealed and ready to go, and it's clean. So let's see. We're going to, I have a measurement right here and right here. So I'm going to be cutting some of this extra off because I want to bring the flowers as much as I can out to the end. So I'm thinking this flower here, okay. All right. Right, and I'm going to cut that off because I'll talk about it before we cut out what my next stage will be, and that will be for next week. And if I do forget, because as Paula and the ladies here might be able to attest, it's highly likely I will forget. I will post in the comments what the plan is for next week. So, let's see, and then, so this flower fits to this point, and we can go to about here with this flowers. All right. And with all this busyness, you're not gonna notice that we're like cutting things off. All right? But don't worry about that. Anyone have been afraid to cut up the transfers? Is this something you'd be like, oh heck no, I need more wine for that? Or are you like, jump in the puddle and let's do it? Curious minds want to know. Alright, let's just see what of these fit. remnant. Save all these little pieces that you don't use, because eventually, and usually pretty quickly, you're going to have yourself a buildup that you have enough to make its own project. So save them. They're good fill for when you have a oops moment. They are good for just a special project, just a little thing, you know. But so cool. So this is 1/4 of our exterior compass routes. Absolutely love IOD. I know, right? We all love iron orchid designs, and you know you're in the club when you're using it as a verb. Just saying. And this will not come up. I cannot get this video to come up. Go figure. All right. That's just my luck. All right, so we're cutting these off. We might use them as fill. Now I'm going to use another 1/4 here. And I'll probably end up adding some to some of these. Let's see. We can add to here. I'm sorry, I'm not talking a lot, but that's actually probably pretty refreshing. I know my limitations. All right. If we can't have a sense of humor, why bother, right? So, are we getting the gist here? We've got 1/4 roughly. We have another 1/4, and we can probably fill with some of these. Kind of extend it, okay? We got it going on here. And we can turn this. Is this making sense? Do you guys get what's happening? It's going to be a compass rose, if you just kind of came in late. Kind of a stylized compass rose. And let's just see if we can't work with that. And then we're going to kind of zigzag this. Now that we're breaking it up, it's not extending as much as I thought it would. I kind of held it up, but I want to show you, like, there's not a lot of thought process and when you're cutting these. At least not for me, but I can fill. I can always use stamps to fill. We can add some of the like bird branches and blossoms to fill. We're not going to worry about this if it doesn't go, you know, all the way to the intersecting points. But I also have to leave room for my east, north, east, west, and south, right? Totally said that out of order, but that's okay. We're all friends here. All right, so there's that one, and then there's this one. This one we're going to have to, let's see, we're going to get rid of this. All right, that's a bit much. It's bringing it over too much. Now let's see where we're at. So I want to start getting this on. We're going to flip it. We're just really just going for the wildness tonight, aren't we? Just going with it. All right, let's, do I want to leave this loop? Can you see what I'm talking about? Let me see. I'm talking about this right here. Nice. Nice. But I am a Go Blue fan, but that's okay. I love Ohio. I love Ohio. I've lived in Ohio a couple times. Let's see. Just saying. So this loop is kind of bothering me, but I don't know if I'm cutting it off. That's it. I already said it's bothering me, so let's just do it. Right? And I'm just trying to trim around these parts so that we don't have too many of these things that don't make sense. But I'm not going crazy to really stay with it. Okay, so now I have another part, and that part will go here. And let's cut this. No, we have that's another part. 2 more parts. Okay, and we have these parts. So what do we think? We definitely have to cut something here. And we can roll a little bit, so I'm going to cut this leaf here. I'm doing it. Be daring. That's what my mother always said. My mother raced quarter mile. The one who talks about my driving, I just sit there and I say, well, I was born into it. My father raced quarter mile, my stepfather raced quarter mile. Just, and my driver's ed was, don't be afraid, don't slow down, don't be afraid. So, all right, so let's start getting this down and go from there. And I'm hoping you guys are following along. I have a line right here and a line right here, so I'm just gonna kind of maybe over a little bit more. And we have these little portions that we can extend if we want. All right, so I don't take the backing off until I know I'm pretty good with where it's at, okay? And let's get nice and intimate here. And we can have some of these roll down a little bit. Okay, and that's it. I'm doing it. Now I did seal my surface. Now the paint brand that I'm using is it's new to me, and so I'm trying to do everything by the book. But your stockists will know whether their paint works well without having to seal. But if you don't know, the safest thing to do is to give it a good seal coat, top coat, that will protect any possible off-gassing of the paint below that would lift the transfer. And if there's any other issues, it's usually the only issues you're going to get is user error somehow, and it's not even intentional. It could be that you thought it was clean and it wasn't clean, and so even the paint isn't able to adhere. You could think that maybe I didn't keep the backing on, and maybe some dust got onto the back of the actual transfer. Those are the things that we do. And then the big qualifying thing is after we're done, see how this is coming down on there? Can you see that? It's so cool. We're going to take a piece of this clear acetate, I believe, Mylar, whatever it is, or whatchamacallit, and we're going to burnish this down really well. I'm trying to get, it's very warm, although thankfully not as bad as yesterday, but I'm trying to get this as a little air bubble, but since everything's kind of sticky, humid, it's hard to get a bubble because it wants to just stay with the surface. Now if things kind of come apart when you're rolling your transfer with this bubble, don't worry about it, especially this piece. I mean, there's so much going on, you're not going to see the little broken parts. You can also take like a sanding block, a fine grit sandpaper or sanding block, like a 220, maybe down to a 180. See, this little bubble is going to help pull this right off of the transfer, the backing. You can distress it by giving it a light sand. It'll also help if you concentrate on the edges without losing your edges. can, it'll help burnish them down as well. Just little tricks. And on a light surface, you're not gonna see any, and I just lost the name again, the term. The little fine line that happens around the transfers. Other companies, that little haze that, around the actual transfer, it's a little more predominant. But this, you know, the same thing will work for them as well. You're gonna want to try to, this I don't even see. It only maybe on a real dark piece, you kind of get a little bit of it. But this, you won't even see it because it's a light surface. And even when you look at, and if you go look at the gallery of Iron Orchid Designs, and you see all these wonderful stockists and artists doing pieces of furniture with the transfers, and they're on dark colors, you zoom in and you're gonna see, I mean, God bless you if you can see the little haze I'm talking around the outside of it. It's so minute. It really is. And they did a really good job of keeping, you know, that to a minimum. So, isn't this cool? And it's nice to layer the different products. Like, use the barnwood plank with so many different things. You get so many cool looks. It gives it that kind of homey, you know, vintage sort of a feel to it. You can do this. I've done the black. I've colored them in. You can color these in. You seal it first with a top coat, and then you can color it in with inks. You can color it in with watercolor. Although if you're using a real fluid, you know, sort of a watercolor, you're going to want to use a spray sealer after, at least for the first coat after, because, you know, when you go to put on your varnish, your water-based varnish, or top coat, it's going to move your paint. Now, depending on the paint you're using, you don't have to use a water-based top coat. You can use a wax, but again, work with your stockists. But do not try to use a wax prior to applying your transfer. Alright, so like I said, it's not usually this stubborn. There. Now I'm going to use this to really burnish this down. This is really important. A few tips, let's just say that, a few tips when you're working with the transfers. Clean, sealed, well-dried surface. Be safe, top coat, and burnish, and then top coat. That's basically your big pointers for working with transfers. And if you're tuning in late, we use the Iron Orchid Designs ink in stone gray on the top with the barnwood planks stamp. And we did a video on our page, so if you're curious, you could see. And if you like what you see, maybe give us a like. That would be awesome. Alright. A little bit rolling over. And it looks pretty good here. It might be down already. Like I said, it's so sticky here. Alright, good. That looks a little more even. And that's it. So my plan on the next stage is to take the, oh, I said I was going to wait, right? How much time? How much time do I have? Does anyone have the time? Here, I'm going to roll this way, and I can see the time better over here. All right, I have a little time. I'm going to talk about what next week will be pretty soon. I would hope this would have been on already, but you know, the weather being what it is, it might have helped if I had a refrigerator here or at my shop. So I don't have a refrigerator big enough. I hear that it's sometimes beneficial when it's really hot and muggy to kind of give them a cool down really quick. depending on your paints, if you're doing this, you can do this on mirrors and glass. This is where it's really important you keep the backing on until you know where it's going, because they really want to stick to the sealed surface. The more sealed it is, the more it wants to stick, and it just, this part of it goes so super fast. But I have one coat of satin on here, and it's very humid, it's very hot, and since I closed the door, it seems like it got worse. Either that or it's just because, you know, my age. just saying. So I want to catch up with what everyone's from, and I can't wait to hear what everyone's thoughts are on this. Are you excited by it? Are you saying, what the heck are you doing, Linda? My husband often rolls his eyes, and a lot of the times he ends up, you know, trying to bring it home, but getting there is usually a little scary for him. He's like, you're gonna do what? So this table, he was like, okay, just, I'm gonna back up the truck and bring this table home. I'm like, I'm not done with it. I'm just not done with it. Oh, thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you, Kathy. See, now I can see. Finally, it pops up. See? So cool, isn't this? Has anyone used this transfer yet? I was one that didn't use it a lot, and now this is the second time I've used it, because you know what? It's surprising me how I really like it. I really like this, because it's not a total commitment, you know, if you're afraid of color, or if you just want to do like a farmhouse look and be simpler, you can do that with this. And just pick a few flowers if you want and add it as just a off-center detail. It would be really cool on any piece. And then as you graduate, you're going to just be like, oh, heck yeah, I'm going to put that baby on, you know, the front of my dresser, or, you know, the mirror. It's just fun. It's fun when you start out. We have a friend that has recently discovered IOD, and it's been fun watching that happen for her. She's you know, now she's at the stage where she's like, I think I'm an addict. Is anyone else like that? Like, you just like so excited by this, like I am, and she is. Oh, nice! Congratulations, Michelle. Are you going to post on the Creative Tribe page? Post your project on the Creative Tribe page. Are you on that? And I forget, I think we've talked about where you're from in Australia, haven't we? Because I have family in the Sydney area, Tarrant Point. Well, it's not my family, it's my husband's family. And that's a cool story. We didn't know they really existed. Well, we knew they kind of existed, but it was kind of like a forgotten about thing. And then way back when I was pregnant with my first child, back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, my father-in-law got a phone call. And they said, you don't know me, but we were just talking to your brother, and he says that you might have information for us. He says, okay, you know, a little leery, and come to find out, he has my in-laws, my father-in-law's family was his, it would have been his cousin, because his uncle, he knew when his father came to America, his uncle went to Australia, and they never really heard from them after. And so that was so cool that they went, and they had family on the other side in the area, and they knew that they had family in New England, and just started basically going through the phone book. Isn't that a cool story? And to this day, you know, especially now with Facebook, we stay in touch. They've been here on a few visits, and it's been really nice. So what's everyone been doing? You've been doing anything to enjoy the summer? Let's see here. And did you all catch Michelle's video earlier today? She did the new Iron Orchid Designs gallery, the wooden blanks. They are new, and I would say most stockists have them in stock. See, I'm burnishing it down. And I'll do it more and more as we're going along. So that's that. We got 2 parts on, and I can extend some of this if I want, but I do want to make sure I have room for something here. So it's going to be a compass rose. All right. And I think my time is pretty much up. I'm going to continue doing this tonight, and I'll post a picture because hopefully it won't take me long once I can get this air conditioning better and open the door and get some air. But we're going to finish putting up my quarters, and then next week we are going to work with the wreath builder. Okay, that'll be the next ring. Okay, and if I have room, we might do a small ring, but probably not. I'll probably just put like an element in the center. And then we'll take, you know, we'll do the typesetting for the east, the northeast, south, and west. And I can't decide if I'm going to use this first gen granary stamp, maybe the 3 lines, just to be simpler to do my points. But I'm also kind of thinking I like this first gen trompe-l'oeil one, perhaps like this part. But maybe when this is up and we have the wreath, the wreath builder going, we'll determine which of these we're going to do. So with the wreath builder, think about it. Would we like to see the trompe-l'oeil one? Perhaps this braided piece right here? Or should we just do simple and do the 3 little lines? All right. So I'd be interested to see what everyone comes up with. I'm going to take a vote, and make sure you're on the Creative Tribe page. Make sure you go to the description if you're new to us, and find your local stockist, because we are the best to help you to find, you know, the DIY product from Iron Orchid Designs that's going to help you. And we're going to, you like the simple lines? Okay, cool. Thank you, Kathy. And we're also best apt to find you like the best solution. That you do have to top coat with the paints and using transfers. Your local stockist is best to help you with that. All right. So you all take care. I'm gonna finish this. I'll post a picture, and I'll see you next week hopefully. And thank you for being here. Thank you. All right, Belinda. All right, 2 for simple lines. We'll see. Oh, came out World War II, 1950. Oh, wow. I'll have to finish reading that. Oh, that's so cool. Isn't it cool to learn these things? It was such a surprise, and it was like instant family, you know? It wasn't so strange. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm like a sweatbox over here. I'm so sorry for that. We'll see you next week, okay? Y'all take care. Bye.